Picture this, it's the day after Christmas, basically the end of the year, tornado season months away. You're going to sleep after a long day of using all your brand new Christmas presents, when suddenly, one of the strongest tornadoes of the year starts barreling through your small suburban town, destroying everything in sight. For the people of Garland, Sunnyvale, and Rowlett, Texas, they didn't have to imagine this, as their towns were actively being demolished. This video is my best attempt at making a track of this tornado with commentary on its location provided. I hope you enjoy. The tornado began at 6:46 p.m. just off of East Trip Road, producing around EF0 damage. The damage in this area, or lack thereof, supports this rating. EF1 to EF2 damage began to be inflicted after crossing Carson Lane, entering the other half of this neighborhood. Houses like this one sustained damage consistent with an EF2 rating, with severe damage to its roof and second floor. As the tornado headed north, it began to weaken towards EF1 damage, eventually as low as EF0. This was likely because of no structures being in the path at this point, just trees.
Okay, well, don't move. The tornado is coming up.
The tornado began to inflict EF1 and EF2 damage again once crossing Barnes Bridge Road, as it went into the Plantation Place Dallas RV Park. In this area, multiple RVs were damaged by the tornado, with some even being completely destroyed. Other things like trees and cars in this area were heavily damaged, some completely destroyed. However, as the tornado entered the Crystal Lake subdivision, EF3 damage began to become apparent. While the satellite data from this track is from a later date, there is still some obvious damage to be seen, along with some completely bulldozed homes. These homes were likely so heavily destroyed that the only thing to do was start over, or the people in this area did not feel like rebuilding and instead just completely tore down what was left.
You missed that. Look at them going.
High-end EF2 damage continued being inflicted as the tornado tracked towards I-30. Houses on Alley Lane sustained the worst of this EF2 damage, having still not been fully repaired by April of 2016. As the tornado crossed Bobtown Road, it would begin to inflict the worst damage it would in its lifetime. High-end EF3 to EF4 damage occurred on Crest Hill Lane. It's now when most footage of the tornado recorded is finally seen.
Oh yeah, you can see that. You see that? Look at that.
Oh, watch out for another tornado, guys.
Dar, it's going away from us. Oh, look at that. Did you see that? Oh man, look at that.
There's a huge tornado. We're looking at it.
The tornado caused heavy EF4 damage to a public storage unit as it crossed I-30, where it would claim its first few victims. Nine people would die as the tornado crossed I-30, and the tornado began to weaken as it crossed the lake. Once the tornado made it back to land, EF3 level damage would resume, with houses in this area having major structural damage and trees being destroyed. It would take a small step back, producing only EF2 level damage for the next few miles, but then re-strengthening to EF3 damage just north of Herforth Elementary School. A large swath of EF3 damage would occur in this area, but this would be the last time it would re-strengthen. It began to heavily weaken in its approach to the intersection of Lakeview Parkway and Dal Rock Road, producing only EF0 damage for the rest of its life. As it re-entered the lake, the tornado would approach its end. It continued for a few minutes before lifting in the middle of the lake, marking the end of the nightmare that was the Garland EF4. After all of this, you're probably asking yourself, why did this happen? Why did one of the strongest tornadoes of 2015 strike at the end of the year? Well, that's because this tornado, along with dozens of others on this day, were all part of the December 2015 North American Storm Complex, also known as Winter Storm Goliath. This storm system was one of the deadliest outbreaks of the year, with over 50 fatalities being attributed to it. The main storm was caused by a strong low pressure system in the area with a strong upper level trough being present. Along with this, 32 tornadoes were confirmed to have touched down, the Garland tornado being one of them. It also caused heavy snowfall, ice storms, and reached across the entire country. $3 billion of damage occurred in total, and it lasted just over 2 days. At its end, this storm cemented itself as one of the worst tornado events of the year, as well as being one of the only fatal tornadoes in the DFW area to ever occur in December. Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to see more like this, please like and subscribe. The next track video is going to be similar to the Joplin tornado track I did earlier, because there's actually lots of footage of it. Goodbye.